And then we get a little bit of a curveball.
Hey, I think we just lost our ferry.
We lost our model.
Um,
Now, essentially, at this point, we're faced with two choices. We can either give up and scrap this whole thing, or try to make it work.
Hi, my name is Adam Walls, and I'm an award-winning makeup artist. You may have seen my work in DTF St. Louis. Are you curious about how to tag team a makeup with a partner? Well, stick around today on Off the Walls Effects, and we're going to figure it out. All right, so today we're going to go through and we're going to do a... You're like, oh shit, you're going.
I was like, oh, because
You're like, wait a minute, oh no. All right, so today we're going to go through and we're going to do kind of like a tag team makeup. A lot of time when you work on set, you're going to tag team makeups with a partner. A lot of times when you're doing really heavy effect stuff, you're going to go back and forth with that partner. Usually somebody will have one side, somebody will have the other side. So today we're going to do a collaborative makeup. This is my friend Amanda, and we've been working together for, gosh, how many years at this point?
Since 2019, I would say.
And it's like, I think we've been on like 5 projects, something like that.
A lot. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, we worked together on Bad Boys and Thunderbolts and Noelle for Disney Plus, and Electric State, and so on and so forth.
Met thou currently Mayor of Kingstown.
That's right, Mayor of Kingstown. I haven't mentioned that one yet. But yeah, so we're going to do kind of a collaborative makeup on another friend of ours, Jillian. She's going to come in, but we're going to prep for it first, and we're going to test out a couple things. So Amanda's working on a possible crown that we're going to put in her hair, and I'm working on some possible earrings as well. So we're going to kind of just get into this build, and we're just going to start kind of figuring it out as we go, and we'll just kind of take it from there.
So what exactly are you doing right now? Like you printed those on
Water
your laser
slide
printer on water slide paper.
Right. So these are going to be some earrings. Essentially, you know, I've got some chains that we're going to put on some foam latex ears. And these guys, we went ahead and made some dragonfly wing tattoos, essentially. The interesting thing about it is I'm prepping these just like you would a normal tattoo. What I'm going to do is instead of taking our acetate, and you've seen me go through this in other videos, first the acetate has a siliconized side and a non-siliconized side. I'm actually going to stick it to the non-siliconized side. And the reason I'm going to do that is I want it to stick. And I'm going to sandwich these little transfers in between two sheets. So then that way, this kind of has a little bit of that dragonfly-esque exoskeleton sheen that dragonflies have. And because these tattoos are semi-transparent, you should be able to see through them. So it should be kind of a cool effect. Should be. I've never done this before, so we're going to see if it works and kind of take it from there.
I feel like that's a lot of doing a makeup though, is don't limit yourself by only what you know how to do, but challenge yourself, especially when it's in a fun makeup like this, that there's no pressure.
Absolutely.
Try new things and new techniques.
And that's the only way you learn this stuff, is if you just keep trying, keep moving forward. You know, if one technique works for one thing, then you can apply that to something else. You go, oh wow, look at that, it actually worked.
Or it didn't work.
Right. What do they say on Mythbusters? Failure is always an option.
Exactly. That's why I think that test makeups are also so important in not doing something for the first time on an actor. When you have a time limit and they have a time they have to be on set, that may happen.
It's true.
But it's definitely not ideal.
Yeah, take the test if you can get it. You know, figure out at least a rough idea of what you're going to do, a rough idea of colors that you're going to use. I think we're going to do that today too, is we're going to put Amanda in the hot seat. We're going to test out some kind of shimmering eyeshadows on her as well. So that'll be fun to see and see what works and what doesn't work.
One of the things that we're trying to experiment with is basically trying to put a pattern, almost like it's part of her skin, underneath the makeup. So then when she moves with the iridescence, you can kind of see that hidden pattern within the skin.
And so we're going to be playing with some airbrushing techniques. We're going to try to bury some of these airbrush patterns underneath a foundation, see if that works. And then we've got a couple fun new materials that we're going to kind of mess with too, to try to give the skin that really glassy sort of look. So this is going to be experiment central here over the next video or so. So Amanda, you've been doing this for years and years.
I have. I actually got started in this business in 2009. I graduated from makeup school. I went to Joe Blasco in Florida, and then kind of just started in the indie world and worked in some makeup labs and really loved that. But I kind of moved my way more towards the beauty side of things and character side of things. But I do love to dabble.
She's being modest. She's actually a pretty efficient effects artist. I always tease her that she doesn't give herself enough credit, but you know.
And you're partnering with you, Adam.
Oh, stop. Stop.
So with the headpiece, I'm kind of just like layering different textures and trying to get it to be quite organic, so we can kind of just play with like laying it in her ear and then having like some of it weave this piece to be able to like maybe braid her hair into it and tuck this behind her ear.
It's looking cool so far.
We went to, our local Michael's. I think we looked pretty crazy digging through all the different leaves and florals and found the different textures that we liked, because sometimes makeups need different texture in different levels to look organic.
No, absolutely. That's the fun thing about this is a lot of times, and I mean, you can speak to this more than I can, but, especially with a beauty makeup, I think one of the things that you see a lot with effects makeup versus beauty makeup is, beauty is a little bit more of striving for perfection, trying to make things look perfect. Whereas effects makeup, you're trying to make things look realistic and imperfect and off balance. So this is going to be an interesting collaboration because they're two competing ideas, but you can marry those ideas pretty efficiently. I think by having some fun with these more natural sort of elements, I think will get us into that spot.
I 100% agree. Beauty is very, perfect in some ways, depending on this type of makeup.
True.
And sometimes you just have to let go of that when you get into more character makeups and effects makeup, which is a fun switch. What are we thinking of that?
I think that's cool. I think that's great. You've got all those different textures in there.
I think we'll also have to leave some room to play for when she's like, we actually have her hair. We may have to alter some of it.
Jillian has got a bunch of beautiful thick red hair, so I think we've got a lot that we can play with.
It's quite cool.
Yeah.
If Adam was going to be a fairy.
That's right. That's right.
When did you go to makeup school, Adam? I can't remember. I don't think you did. You're self-taught, right?
I don't think I've ever really talked about where I went to school. I actually went to Florida State, and I got my degree in media production, hence all this stuff. But I didn't really use that when I got out of school. I did a little bit, kind of shooting some stuff with friends, but I ended up getting a job at a makeup effects lab. And I worked there for years and years, and that's kind of where I learned all of this. And I do have an art background, so at least I could use those skills and apply to this. So the longer I worked there, the more I learned about all this, the more I realized, this is one of those jobs that, utilize all the weird random skills I have. And the longer I did it, the more opportunities kind of popped up for me to go to set. And then in 2014 into 2015, and then started kind of being on set full time at that point. And it just has not stopped. And I just kept working. And so a lot of this, I probably got a lot of jobs early on that I was definitely not qualified for. But
I think we all have had those jobs.
But you kind of make it work and you figure it out as you go. And
there's definitely a meaning behind fake it till you make it to an extent.
True.
You have to know when that's okay to do and when that's not okay to do.
That's exactly right. It's one of those where be upfront with the skills that you have, be upfront with the sort of makeups you can do, but at the same time, you know.
Underestimate yourself.
Right. Absolutely. You know, sometimes there are qualified risks that you can take, you know, that you've not done that makeup before, but you think you can pull it off. You've got an idea of how to tackle it, and then go for it. Might that get you into trouble? Yeah, maybe. But, you know, sometimes you gotta take a shot, and you kind of gotta go for it, and then just don't screw it up.
No pressure.
Right.
What about that time you had to make ears out of gloves?
Yeah,
I don't know if that was something you had done before.
No, I hadn't. I'd made a tongue out of a puff before.
A ton. For what?
There was a fake head on Into the Badlands that didn't have a tongue, and the mouth was open, and it looked a little weird, so we very quickly took an old powder puff and coated it in latex and painted it up, and we shoved it in the mouth, and it was like, yeah, that works. Cool. Perfect. But yeah, I guess puff-wise, on Thunderbolts, we had stunt doubles who were on motorcycles, and this helmet that had a wig on it, you know, somebody made the suggestion at one point that it needed ears, and through a weird turn of events, I somehow got roped into the guy making the ears because we were out of options. And so I think it was like we were on a split or something.
We were in a split in the middle of a desert.
That's right. In the middle of Utah.
In the middle of Utah, in this small town that had like a grocery store, a gas station,
right,
and one really nice hotel, Holiday Inn.
Right. Yeah. So we made some ears. So I stayed up that whole night making these goofy ears that did not look great.
But they went on camera.
They were effective. So much so, it became a running joke that I think the whole cast went on one of the late night shows, and they're joking about this crazy helmet wig ear situation. So it's out there in the ether somewhere.
Don't worry, I have pictures. I'll send them to Abby.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
We cannot leave them hanging. Give us a little shimmy.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of uses for powder puffs. A lot of people use the wrappers to like break up blood when you're doing like blood on.
Oh, really?
Take it and they crinkle it.
I've not seen that. That's cool.
You've seen it with even like a garbage bag.
That makes sense.
Have you never seen that before?
No.
Oh my gosh, look at me teaching him something.
See, this is why it's fun when you're working with a partner, because you're always going to learn something. I've been doing this for years, and I was like, no, I've never actually seen anybody do that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice way to like break up blood and make it look a little bit more organic when it's like, especially when you're doing like drips, so you don't just have lines.
Right. Yeah, that's looking cool. That's looking great. I love the different textures in it, different bits of. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Like with our hair woven in.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, do you want me to hold it so you can see?
Yeah.
Don't know if it has the same effect on me, but.
Man, that's pretty.
Yeah,
I feel like
cool.
This side, the ear.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, we could do
especially
it like that.
It's a little bit more off kilter.
More like that.
Right.
I think that then we can weave her hair into it.
Right.
We can cut some of those leaves off too. Like it might be a little too heavy right here.
Right.
We can cut some of it, go in there and trim some. It's pretty.
That's very cool. Michael's plastic leaves for the win.
I know. I might make another one and like have alternatives.
That's not a bad idea.
You knew arts and crafts.
I know.
So much fun.
I feel like I'm putting a tattoo on the table.
So what are you're melding them together right now?
Yeah, so I'm getting this guy off of the plastic, or off of the, leaving it on the plastic, getting it off of the paper.
Yeah.
Having fun over there?
Yep. Hot glue is like so fun.
Yeah. I was like burning myself a couple times at least.
Oh, sure. It's part of the
fun of it.
Part of the joy.
So there you go. Dragonfly wind wool and
That's so cool.
Might be too light.
You got a couple different ones.
Yeah.
It's always nice having options on the day instead of blocking yourself. Like, for example, we had to establish a cut on an actor the other day, and Adam printed 3 different levels of darkness for that cut because we made it a transfer. So we could see which one best suited the actor. And that was so nice because we didn't have time to do a test run. We had to apply him on the day that he was working just because of scheduling.
Well, that's one thing with a TV show versus, say, a movie. I mean, we've both worked on plenty of TV shows, but most of the stuff that you and I have worked on together has all been films.
It's all been filmed.
So you have the time to kind of set this stuff up. With a TV show, on the other hand, because it goes fast and hard, you kind of live and die by that schedule, and you just have to be prepared accordingly.
TV definitely has its own, like, trickiness to it. Just because it is so, like, run and gun. You don't have the months of prep. You don't have the actors. You're usually trying to pull actors from different shows and working with their schedules. So it is a level of, like, more run and gun.
Right.
And then you're also dealing with different directors for different blocks and how an effect is going to carry, because what one director may want, another one may not.
Very true.
It's definitely a game of figuring.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because so you might think that, oh, well, that traditional TV model when you'd have 24 episodes in a season, which is the way they used to do it for years and years with cable television, network television. That's usually how your television show would go. Of course, with streaming now, those seasons have gotten shorter and shorter. It dropped from 24 to 20 to 15, down to 12. Most of them are 10. Now we're dropping to 8 and 6, depending on the series. And the less episodes you have, the more they're shot like a film. Those longer ones feel more like that traditional TV where you're going. When I was on NCIS New Orleans, each one of those episodes, you would shoot it in 8 days. You would have 7 days on your episode, and then that 8th day would be kind of a bleed over day, a double up day.
Double up day. Those are always hot.
Yes, they are. And usually at that point, you'd have an AD staff that's prepping one show while a second AD staff is running the current show. And when they're done with that show, then they swap. But what you're doing is not only are you applying the makeup for one episode, you're planning the makeup for the next episode. Scripts are continually coming out. So it's a machine that you continually just keep running on. And you just have to stay on top of it, because if you don't, you can very easily get caught. And that's not fun.
No, that's definitely not fun. And that's why continuity is so important. I really think you should do. Have you done one yet?
Actually,
oh, that's right. It's coming out, right?
I think it already did. So if you haven't seen it, I've got a continuity episode, like 45 minutes of me going into continuity and deep diving on how it works, why it works, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, things to look out for. All really, really important.
I would say continuity is probably one of the most tedious part of our job. But it's also so important. Not for the week. That's why taking lots of photos of your work, getting beard measurements on everybody, because just because it says it's a start, work, finish doesn't necessarily mean it is. And then somebody's going to be coming back and you don't remember.
And if you don't know what that term means, start, work, finish is essentially, usually when you look at a schedule or a call sheet, you'll see SW next to an actor's name, and that means start work. And after they start work on consecutive days, you'll see either a W for work or H for hold. So you can see when those actors are working in your schedule. And then the last day that actor is there, it's a work finish. So you see a WF. Now, if you have a day player who's just in for one day, then it'll say start, work, finish on that actor. And a lot of the times you can look at it and be like, oh, they're just here for a day. I don't need to track it. And then all of a sudden, a writer's like, hey, let's bring that guy back. He really
liked him.
We liked him. He worked well. It was funny on the day.
Or the story goes in that direction where that character would need to be back.
Right.
And that mainly happens in TV, I would say.
Yeah.
Like films, you generally get an idea from the beginning who you're going to have, what's going to happen. I mean, obviously we do get pages and changes, but I would say it's more likely to happen in television.
Absolutely.
So you better make sure you have that continuity sheet done, especially if they've got something crazy going on. You don't know how to match a beard, or, you know, they have a crazy prosthetic that, oh shoot, we don't have that, or we don't know how to apply it, or nobody told us what that one was. That can create an issue.
And that's one thing, like, I always try to be really on top of my continuity sheets, because what if I get in a car accident? What if my kid is sick? What if something happens that you can't come in? We're human. We're not invincible. And so to have a sheet done so you don't screw over your teammates, you know, production can continue.
Right. Actually, they have it done on Guardians.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had, so when we started Guardians, we had, and this is almost unheard of now, but we had basically about a month of prep. One thing we did during that prep is the makeup artists who were doing the specific makeups for the specific characters would have the rest of the makeup team come in, and we'd have a makeup class. This is how you do Gamora, you know, because we're not going to do Gamora. We're going to do the Gamora stunt. We're not going to do Drax, but we're going to do Drax stunt. We're not going to do Nebula, but we're going to do Nebula stunt. And so we would go in with the Nebula team, and they would say, this is where this goes, this is where this goes, these are the colors that are used, here are all the steps. So
that's incredible, because you don't hear a lot that happens.
And that really, you know, kudos off to, you know, our department head on that, Alexei Dimitri, who, you know, really made a point to do that and make sure that we had all that down, because it was the time of COVID. You never knew if those teams were going to drop.
Yeah, I mean, and just being exposed, we were kicked out, and somebody else would have to come in and do the makeups for us.
And that's exactly what happened on week 1. Team Drax went in, did the makeup. Somebody tested positive for COVID, which means that whole team was down. And in fact, one of our key makeup artists went in that day to watch them do the makeup, just to brush himself up on it. And now we lost our key plus the 3-member team that put Drax together each day. So it was me and 2 other artists that the very next day, okay, now you guys are on Team Drax. You're doing a Drax stunt double that has to match, and you guys go. We understand you haven't done the makeup before, but that's why you had the class. And there we were. Trial by fire. You get a put up or shut up. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, here we go.
But that's where those continuity sheets, that's where getting all that information is so important.
That's one thing Adam and I geek out on. I think it was Bad Boys was the first time that we did it.
Yeah.
He was showing me this old continuity sheet, and I was like, I would really love for you and I to create something like that. I kind of gave him an idea of what I was thinking, and then he went away on his computer and
I did it just like that too.
Yeah. And, you know, came back to me, and we have used it on every job since. And it's, I mean, we'll have to flip through one of our books, show people, because they look so beautiful, guys.
They are fun. I think in that continuity video, if you want to see what we're talking about, I do pull up a handful of them in that. So that's something that both Amanda and I took a heck of a lot of time to kind of refine and work on. And, you know, they're all in iCloud albums. So if one gets edited, it edits on
all of
the
ours.
other device.
And so everybody has access.
Okay, so here's a lighter one and a darker one.
I don't know, I think there's something special about both of them. What are your feelings?
The darker one, because I can see it more.
There's something mythical about this translucent.
Yeah, I really like that.
What do you think of something like that?
That's cool. It's funny, I'm having these moments where these are all going on, and I just keep thinking Midsummer. I was like, oh, I think that was used in Midsummer, although there are no flowers in it, but still.
Yeah.
No, they look great.
I mean, obviously we can play with them and, you know, cut stuff off, or you have that rope. We could even run a rope through it.
Right.
And then also, I might just make some, like, little pieces. Better to have some.
100%.
Because maybe the crown might be too much.
Right.
You know, and then, like, maybe just, like, kind of like an ivy, like a...
I mean, it could be a less is more thing, but
Yeah.
having those options, I think, would be great.
I mean, this would go on this side.
I mean, those look pretty cool, too. Just
Yeah.
having that extra little bit of greenery. We'll let Jillian take it home with her. You can use this in your free time. What am I going to use this for? I don't know.
for shits and giggles.
It's funny. I think she's like nervous about it, but like excited about it at the same time.
Our friend Jillian is our first team PA, first team AD. And essentially what the first team AD does is they come to, us and hair and the actors, people who are traditionally not on walkie on set, to let us know, hey, this is the next shot. It's going to be a 2-shot, over the shoulder. It's going to feature this person and this person. That's what we have upcoming next. So we've got about 10 minutes before the camera rolls. That way we know if we need to touch somebody up, that we have 10 minutes to go in, find our actor, do some extensive touch-ups if need be. If not, then you just go in for last looks. And that's usually what the first team PA does from our perspective. Now, I know from their perspective, they have the walkie in their ear and they're constantly getting information and getting bombarded with stuff. The ADs, as I always say, are the hardest working people on set. I also think they have the hardest job on set.
Well, I would agree with that. I think PAs are the backbone of our industry, and if we did not have them, the whole system would collapse. And I think they're also the most underappreciated department.
Right.
And the most valuable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
like shit does not get done.
Yeah, because that's the thing about working on set is we're all a bunch of really creative people. You've got an entire crew of creative people in costumes, creative people in, hair, and, creative people in camera. And if you're trying to get a bunch of creative people all to go in the same direction, a lot of time it's like herding cats. And so if you're an AD, you are a cat herder.
Oh, yeah.
And, some like that, some don't like that, but it's the job. So for better or worse, the project would not go forward if it wasn't for the ADs getting all of us crazy folks in line.
I mean, very, very true. It's going to be interesting to see how it all comes together.
Oh, it always is. It always is. So, Amanda, do you always want to do makeup, or did you figure that out later, or?
So I always loved makeup from like a young child, like stole Tinkerbell makeup from the store. Just walked out with it. Nobody stopped me. My mom turned around and I have Tinkerbell makeup stacked above my head, walking out like it's mine.
That's great.
And, since then, like I was always the one that did all my friends' hair and makeup, and, we play with that and do their hair. And so after I went to high school, I knew that I wanted to get into hair and makeup. I didn't really understand how to get into the film business or like how that worked. So I went to hair school, graduated from that, and just found out I really don't like hair. So I moved to Florida and I went to Joe Blasco, and that really opened my eyes how to get into the industry and what needed to be done and more the film side of things.
Right.
And so I did every course I could through the school. I did the effects lab one, the advanced beauty, and just tried to soak up as much as I could. And I was pretty lucky because we had so many film schools nearby. We have Full Sail, we have Florida State, and then we have Valencia, and they all have film programs. And so I would just check ads and boards and, email them to be their makeup artist. And then throughout that, just made connections and got days and met people. And the Orlando film community is all very tight and takes care of each other. And so it just went from there and got my days, got into the union, then moved to Atlanta, and it's all she wrote.
And the rest was history.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah, and then did the same thing in Atlanta. Met people, made connections, built relationships with people, and worked my way up within the department. Started off just being a day player, then 30, and then getting into being the key.
I always find it interesting hearing people's stories and how they get into this, just because every story is totally different. Everybody's got some roundabout way that they got into this, whether it was doing a school sort of situation, whether it was self-taught, whether it was right place, right time, or whether it was a combination thereof. It's always interesting hearing those stories, and it's not just for hair and makeup. I think it's across the board.
I'd agree with that 100%.
Costumes, 80s, directors, everybody's got their interesting way of how they got into this. There is no one direct path. There is no quote unquote corporate ladder. It is a freaking jungle gym.
That is true. And it's all about the connections you make.
Right.
Like, honestly, that's, it's being a good person, and also, but some of it really is just right time, right place, and being lucky.
Right.
It's not always about talent and just being an adaptable personality.
It's one of those right time, right place, but yet have the talent skills at that time to back it up. And that's what keeps you there and keeps you going.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, Adam, but this business is very much how hungry you are and how much you put into it is what you're going to get out of it in a lot of situations.
True.
Like, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and message people you wouldn't want to, because it is uncomfortable.
Right.
Like cold calling somebody, but that's what you have to do to get ahead.
Yeah, and sometimes it works out. A lot of times it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it does. It's like, this was one thing I remember my parents would say as a kid. It's the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's putting yourself out there. If you're not trying for it, you're never going to get it. You have to try for it. But whether that's making those connections early on, whether it's making a leap going from hair school to makeup school. For me, I think it was moving to LA. At the time, that's what everybody did, is you moved to LA. And if I didn't move to LA, I would not be doing this right now, because I didn't even know this was a career path. I was trying to be an editor or a cameraman. I totally fell into all of this.
Which is why Adam always has all the best continuity photos. His look
I do like taking pictures.
And yeah, 100%. I know there's been a couple times where I'm like, come on. Don't take my actors' photos. It looks as good as yours.
If you want to know some of those tips in that continuity video, I do go through a lot of that.
Oh.
Good lighting.
Portrait mode.
Makes it look cool. Rather have a cool looking picture than not.
100%. 100%.
Whatever. I think after these are cut out, I'm ready to start pulling the chain out.
I'm literally just making shit to make it, so I forget how much fun art is.
I know, right?
As you get to being an adult. You should be a florist. Look at this.
You know why you don't buy flowers from a monk?
Why?
Because only you can prevent florist friars.
Oh my gosh. No.
There's your dumb joke for the day. It's just those moments where, because we are on location, so obviously this is not my workshop, I don't have a head form, which I normally would have, which would be super helpful for that, or super helpful for this.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is, like, just prepping a bunch of stuff, and so we have a lot of options. You might not use any of it, you know?
Right.
It's going to be kind of one of those things that what works with her hair. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll get Kemi to come do it. No pressure, Kemi.
We're trying to guilt our hair department head into having some fun with us. We'll see if it works. We'll know on the next video, because we don't know now. Jeez, there's so much of this.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
It's too bad we don't have the ears.
So our original plan was to do the makeup this weekend, but we had a snafu in shipping. So we decided to use today as a prep test day.
Yeah, we
We
could.
are prepping and testing. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. I've never made any sort of jewelry before, so this is
This is a fake it till you make it.
yeah, this is exactly a fake it till you make it moment.
So that's going in her piercing.
Right, this one would. So it's like if I can attach that to the rest of this chain. My entire life I've had 20/20 vision. Now that I'm in my mid-40s, I think it's starting to go.
Oh no!
Because I'm sitting here doing that like old man thing where I'm like,
Do you need a magnifying glass?
I might. I do have a pair of readers down in the lab that I usually do this in.
Or do you?
Yeah, just for like the sculptural detail and stuff. I did bring them.
Do you need some help?
Do you want to hook that maybe somewhere in the middle? I wonder if I just loop this through and tie it. Yeah, I'm just going to start tying them.
'Cause I tied that one. It's at least enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though there's a knot there, it's...
You know, you can also glue them onto the here. Like glue it to that thing and then pierce it with the loop.
Right.
But just glue it.
Right.
Because it's not her actual ear. So it's just this part that we have to connect to this, which we honestly could do right here.
Right, yeah, it doesn't have to be all
that.
the way down.
And then you're into this. And then you can just glue it onto this, hot glue it onto a ring. Arts and crafts.
Yay! That's cool. Just a little...
I feel like we're not going to use these. If all else fails, we'll just cover her face with greenery. Plan B.
The makeup didn't work. Quick, just throw these all up top.
It's going to be great.
She's a leaf creature. Yeah, a leaf creature. Some people are going to watch this video and like, oh my god, how did they get hired? Those two are goofballs.
Probably.
Can you hit this with a little hot glue?
Yeah.
Just chill right there.
More?
Yeah, I think that's probably fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
It's cool.
It's the strangest jewelry making. Probably not, but it's cool though.
That is awesome. The one might be too big. I wonder, but you know what? We just can't tell until we have the ear.
Well, luckily I've got those 3 other sizes there, 4 other guys, so I can easily pull that big one off.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool. Well then, I think we're good on this front, and then we'll start playing with some makeup. See what we can do.
Do it.
So at this point, Amanda and I sat down and we really started trying to figure out what exactly we were going to do makeup-wise on the day. We wanted to play with those airbrush colors. We wanted to play with those different shaded eyeshadows. Wanted to see just how glimmery those pigments were going to be and if they would even show up on camera to begin with. So we definitely took that time and we played with our materials. We started kind of going through everything. And then we got a little bit of a curveball.
Hey, I think we just lost our fairy.
We lost our model. Now, essentially at this point, we're faced with 2 choices. We can either give up and scrap this whole thing or try to make it work.
Well, I guess as a pivot, would you be down with it?
Yeah, I mean, you just may have to help me. Like, I'm not great at putting lashes on myself, which I can try.
Right.
But I think that we just pivot and message Kimmy privately and be like, "Would you down?" I mean, obviously, I don't have long hair though, so.
Yeah, but I still think there's something that we can kind of do and play with than everything else.
100%. But I would rather do something. We've done all this work.
I know. Yeah, I'd rather come up with something with it too. So.
And so I would make the argument that because this is all about filmmaking, we're going to try to make it work. We're going to pivot. We're going to use this disadvantage to our advantage. I talk about it all the time. I talk about creative restriction. This is a really good point. So even though we had this entire design designed for Jillian, I think we could do this same look on Amanda.
But yeah, I mean, if you're down with that, then yeah, I'm totally down with that.
Okay, I think we should do it. Maybe message Kimmy and
Sure.
say, like, pivot plan.
And we got our test makeup in last time, so there we go.
Yeah, I mean, you either can redo the drawing with my face, or you can just say, this happens in film too, actor replacement. I mean, it's a good moment to say you have to pivot and do it on somebody different.
Yeah, absolutely. It all works. It all, it all falls into that category of, yeah, this is how this whole thing works.
Yeah. And Keith bought me a charcuterie board for Mother's Day, so I was going to bring it.
Oh, look at that.
I know. I was like, this is kind of perfect because I could never eat this whole thing by myself.
Nice.
So I say we move forward.
Sweet.
Just, backup plan, go to me.
Right.
So that's what we're going to do. So if you've stuck with us this far, stick with us a little bit more.
On the next video I do, we're gonna go ahead and try everything we've built today. We're gonna go through and try all those eyeshadows. We're gonna put it on her. We're gonna put the stencils on. We're gonna airbrush. We're gonna put the ears on. We're even gonna get her hair done and kind of work some of that stuff in as well. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. So hang tight, definitely check out the next video. We'll do that. And in the meantime, if you like what you saw today, if you did, go ahead and like the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit all the bells and the whistles, do all the things, that way you keep updated with videos as they drop. And of course, as I always like to say, stay safe out there and keep making cool stuff.